How is palm oil produced? At the fractionation facility, the oil is separated into fractions with each specific properties. One of the properties that influences the melting point is saturation. The more saturated, the higher the melting point. The palm oil is a mixture of different fatty acids with each a specific melting point. The melting point of palm oil is around 38 degrees Celsius. The liquid oil is cooled down to a temperature at which fatty acids with a higher melting point start to form crystals. Crystallization is the physical process by which a solid forms, where the atoms or molecules are highly organized into a structure known as a crystal. The partially crystallized mixture is pumped through a filter press to separate the liquid and solid fractions. The liquid fraction is pumped out of the filter press. This fraction is liquid at room temperature and is called olein. The solid fraction, stearin, has formed a thin layer of crystals on the membrane. By blowing air through the membrane, the layer of crystals is removed. Each fraction itself is again a mixture of different fatty acids with each a specific melting point. Olein has a low melting point of around 23 degrees Celsius and stays liquid. Stearin has a high melting point of around 53 degrees Celsius and crystallizes. The cooling and separation process can be repeated for the olein and stearin fractions. Therefore, the stearin is heated to become liquid again. The liquids are cooled till crystals are formed and subsequently separated by membrane filtration. The olein fraction is separated into superolein with a melting point of 5 degrees Celsius and a mid-fraction with a melting point of around 28 degrees Celsius. The stearin fraction is separated into soft stearin with a melting point of around 48 degrees Celsius and superstearin with a melting point of around 60 degrees Celsius. The different fractions have different levels of saturation. That is why the melting points are different. Superolein is the least saturated, superstearin the most. The melting points of the fractions determine their application. Stearin and superstearin can substitute hydrogenated vegetable oils and fats in margarine, and thus contribute to lowering of trans fatty acids to very low levels. Superolein is used as an alternative for liquid oils, and among others used in chocolate spreads. The mid-fraction is used to produce filling fats and cream fats. Soft stearin is used to make bakery shortenings. Mixing of different fractions or with other oils makes it possible to produce products with a specific melting point necessary for a certain application and results in a wide portfolio.